I'm going to say some things that quite a few of y'all will not like, but I need you to just hear me. Not hear what you think I'm saying, but hear what I'm saying in the way that I intended it. And I'm going to explain as best as possible so that you can do that. Because that's what, baby? Communication. What do I mean by Chapel doesn't owe you shit, but politicians do? Firstly, what happened? This lady, it's like her and Beyonce. I can't keep their names out my motherfucking. Chaperone was asked about endorsing Kamala Harris and basically said this:
I have so many issues with our government in every way. There are so many things I would want to change, so I don't feel pressure to endorse someone. There's problems on both sides. I encourage people to use your critical thinking skills, use your vote. Vote small. Vote for what's going on in your city.
And a lot of the fans, mostly liberals, leftist, left-adjacent-ish people, were not too happy with that because this election is very close and there are a lot of stakes. So rightfully, a lot of people were like, okay, that's another person. Like, thankfully we got Taylor Swift. Thank God. But girl, Chapel, we need all the numbers. We need everybody. You need to endorse her. At no point did Chapel say she wasn't voting or that she wasn't going to vote for Kamala, but she said she didn't want to use her platform to endorse this candidate because there were problems on both sides. And people heard the problems on both sides part and immediately were like,
you are so ignorant, you are so fucking stupid. Shut the fuck up and vote for Kamala Harris, you dumb pop star. The only reason you're in that position is because we fucking put you there. And we will snatch that shit away from you so fast. Vote for who we fucking say. And shut your fucking mouth.
Y'all didn't say it like that, but that's how some of y'all sound. I'm just gonna be honest. I feel like you can't see my face. I'm a hat girly now. First things first. It is valid to want a public figure that has a large platform and influence to endorse a candidate that you stand for, even if you're not necessarily a huge Kamala fan, but you know the other option is just ain't no fucking way. It makes sense to want somebody with a large platform and stuff to do that. But I think a lot of us are getting confused about the fact that you can vote for someone and not endorse them. You can vote for someone and not stand for their policies. You can vote for someone and criticize them. As a matter of fact, if I am going to be voting for Democrats or people on the left-leaning side of the political spectrum, one, I already know the right doesn't fuck with the beliefs that I believe in. We don't have the same beliefs and values for the most part. And therefore, I'm not gonna hold them to account for certain things because they've already shown me they don't give a fuck about me or the things that I care about or people that are like me. So why am I going to keep asking them for something that I know they'll never be interested in giving me? But the left, on the other hand, claims that they care about certain issues that I care about, claims that they care about the same things and have the same values that I do. So if they're going to say all of that, I'm going to hold their asses accountable to my values. And a lot of people don't like to hear the fact that voting, you're allowed to do what you want with it. I've said on this channel before many times that it is because my parents come from a country where there was a dictator for a long time. And I'm talking like his picture all over random parts. I think my dad got arrested for handing out flyers against, maybe not him, but another president. I don't know. Anyway, there was a whole thing. People have died for our right to vote. People have put their lives on the line, literally, and still are doing that in other parts of the world for you to vote, to have a democratic election, to be able to choose the people that represent your interest. So it is serious and it isn't something to be trifled with or taken lightly. However, when people have a reason for not voting, I think it is important to listen to that. Some people just are like, they're just bad on both sides, I'm not voting. To me, I'm like, girl, what? Or people will just be like, politics is whatever, I'm apolitical, I don't care. To me, that's when I go, okay, you're spoiled because people died for this and you're just like, I don't care, whatever, politics is all stupid. It's okay to believe that, but it does have real life repercussions. Y'all are talking about inflations and prices and all this stuff. It's the government's job to help regulate that shit. And if you don't have politicians locally and at the federal level that are interested in the everyday person, that shit gets out of hand real quick. If somebody cares about a certain issue and the left is claiming they care about the same issue, but not showing any action, rhymes with Miesmeyer. For folks that issue is at the center or connected to all the other issues and they can't separate it, it is strategic for you to withhold your vote because the only thing that person, that politician, that public figure wants from you is your vote. They need your vote, especially in an election this close. And so if you are going to say, actually no, because you bitches aren't listening to me, so I'm gonna be uncommitted. I'm gonna do what I want with my vote and I'm gonna stand on business and I'm just not gonna vote for you because you're playing in my face. That is somebody's right to do, especially because the point is for politicians to serve our public interest. Now let's get to the celeb artist part of it because I feel like we keep having this conversation. I feel like I have to repeat myself a lot, but here we are. Celebrities and public figures like that have made their public publicness off of the work that they do, off of, in this case, Chaperone, being an artist, being a creative. She doesn't owe you shit. She doesn't owe you an endorsement. She doesn't owe you, I'm going to vote, you should too. She doesn't owe you that. It would be nice to do that, but she doesn't owe you that. A lot of fans claim to be fans, but take their fandom and their engagement with an artist as a way to manipulate that artist, as a way to go, you don't do what I want, so I am not going to support your music. You don't do what I want, so I'm not going to support you as a fan. I'm going to leave hate comments. I'm going to tell everyone I know that you're fake, blah, 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 blah. Y'all can understand that, but you can't understand people choosing to withhold their votes from politicians when politicians are the ones that actually owe you shit. Like Chappell and artists like that, like I've said before about that lady, would I like for them to speak on certain, and Chaperone actually has spoken on these issues, so I'm not even, they're not the same. But would I like for public figures and celebrities to use their platforms to speak about the same issues and problems and things that I care about? Yes, especially the artists that I like, because it's like, oh wow, we share similar values. Work. Do I expect and demand them to? No. One, because their opinion, again, doesn't matter more than mine. Two, yes, they have a platform. In this case, I do as well, so whatever. But if you don't have a platform, yes, they have a platform, but that's only gonna go so far. Three, they are not in public office. They didn't sign up to be an artist and creative to serve the public interest and good. They signed up to be a creative and an artist. Yes, Nina Simone said it, artists should reflect the times that they're in. That doesn't necessarily mean that artists should all be activists and be at the front lines. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying everybody has different ways of showing up.
I also want to just clarify while I'm editing this that I do think that when you have a lot of responsibility, aka being a public figure, comes with a lot of responsibility, whether you want it to or not. When people exalt you to a position where they would like to follow you, you know, I'm using very like grandiose, holy language, but it kind of is like that, especially because our society, these are high rambling, so bear with me, but especially because our society is becoming more and more non-religious. People believe in religion less and less. And so I think, I joke all the time about my dad saying, you know, you shouldn't worship false idols, but I think we end up worshiping people like to adore and admire folks, maybe. Pure conjecture, I don't have sources to cite this, I'm just talking. But I think a lot of us like to look up to and admire folks. It's why having a relationship with your parents or any sort of parental figure, older figure that can teach you, that can help you grow, that can make you feel safe is so important in your developmental years. And so many of us didn't have that. And here we are wreaking havoc on the rest of the world. I'm not saying that's the only problem. I'm just saying that's a big portion of what makes us who we are. And so here I go getting all philosophical. Girl, oh my God. Anyway, I do think that it is incredibly valuable to have people to look up to that inspire you. But I think we take it a little too far with these public figures and celebrities because we get to see their work and them in interviews, and we get to see somewhat vulnerable moments of them, depending on how authentic they're being. But we get these glimpses of them, and their work has helped us through so many things. So we make these assumptions about our closeness to them, and that our relationship is not only close, but that it's personal and it's one-on-one. That person don't know you. They don't even know you exist. They might have met you at a meet and greet or something, and they might forget who you are because there's one of them and hundreds and thousands and millions of y'all. You know, it can be overwhelming. But I say all that to say, we have this personalized, idealized parasociality with the way that we view public figures and celebrities. And because of that, we tend to give them way more power than they actually have. And it's not to say that, again, as I said at the beginning of this, with great, power comes great responsibility. It's not to say that they don't have a responsibility to try and be a morally decent person, try and think about others. And, because yes, and rules over here. If you're an artist or a creative person, let's say, and I'm speaking more to that because this video is about Chaperone and because I am an artist and creative, so it just makes sense to me. When you're that kind of person, I'm going to be honest, it's a pretty selfish, self-indulgent thing. Just because I say that doesn't mean that it also doesn't help people and it doesn't inspire folks, and it can be selfless as well. Yes, and rules, multiple things are true at the same time. An element of being an artist, not the whole truth, but an element of it, is a bit of self-indulgence. You kind of have to be self-involved to commit to a vision and see it through when nobody else can be inside your head, to just go, trust me, I got this. Like, what? Why should we trust you, So there needs to be a bit of that. Saying that to say that, some of us want to be good citizens, want to care about people, but we also just want to fucking do our art. in our work and just share it with the world and express ourselves that way. We express ourselves in this way because we aren't able to express ourselves in a lot of other ways. Like I said, everybody has different abilities. Some of you choose to show up as activists, as organizers. And to me, I always commend those people and wonder why we're not focusing more on them and focusing on the work that they're doing instead of the celebrities that are not showing up the way we want them to. It's just like, to me, talking to a wall that can't tell you even exist. I don't know. It's just, I've always thought that it's kind of wild to have expectations of somebody that doesn't know you exist, because your expectations just live and fester within you. But damn, anyway, God, I'm talking so much, but I know that celebrities have a certain level of responsibility. I think of that myself, even if I don't necessarily love the idea of having to live part of my life for others. Because of the nature of our relationship to celebrity and public figures, I have to consider that a bit and be mindful with my words and my actions. And yes, however, I'm a human fucking person, and I'm not always going to be able to be like that. And also, I think what I think and I talk how I talk. I can do my best to communicate, but somebody's going to misconstrue what I say. And then it's going to turn into this whole clickbait situation. And I'm just like, also, girl, why are we so trying to get at the celebrity? They're a distraction. I've said this before. I even said this in my Are We Turning Away from Celebrity Idealization video. Cool, yeah, but also, why aren't we focused on the politicians? And then even then, some of them are kind of a distraction. Who's funding these people? Who's paying for all of this shit? You know? Anyway, not me following the money again. Let me get back to the video.
I've told y'all before, I'm not an activist or community organizer, but I follow them. Defer to them. What y'all say, I'll go with that, whatever. I'm an artist, I'm a creative, I'm a performer, and I yap a lot. I like to stay informed. I like to consider things. I like to think about things, but I've never claimed to be an expert, and I never claimed to be somebody that is in a position of authority to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. I just ask you to consider things, right? Consider that someone like Chapel Roan has said what she stands for, has been very open about the things that she believes in, is not afraid to stand on her beliefs. And so it shouldn't surprise y'all that she is going to criticize the Democrats. She's going to criticize Kamala Harris because her values and beliefs are stuff that Kamala is playing in her face about. Palestine. For some of y'all, it's a faraway country. What's happening here with reproductive rights and trans rights, all of these are issues happening here that are important. And for other people, they're like, it's all connected. I can't separate it. So there's a difference of opinion there, right? But again, if you are a politician, it is your job to serve the public good. The only reason you are in that house on a hill is because people, everyday people, put you there. That's what democracy is supposed to be. But for some reason, we've gotten to this place where we're fusing democracy and politics and celebrity and artistry and all of these things. And I'm not saying they're not connected, but it's just like we need to start doing some untangling, I think, and realizing that all of these things can be true at the same time and holding all of those uncomfortable truths simultaneously. Because Chapel, it is not your right to tell her what she can and can't do with her platform, what she should and shouldn't do with her platform, her project, as she called it, how she should and shouldn't show up in the world. It's not your right to say that. You can say it, you're allowed to, like literally you're allowed to. You can say whatever you want, but she's also allowed to not listen to you and to tell you to fuck off because she's not in a position of being a public servant. She's a public creative, but she's not a public servant. She stands up for what she believes in. She seems to be politically aware and not afraid to say where her politics lie. And that's what y'all say you want from artists. But the minute she starts critiquing the left, it's a problem. The minute she starts saying, yeah, I'm going to vote, but what the heck? I don't like what's going on here. And there are issues on both sides. It's not a hot take to say that. It's not. It's just a factual statement. This is what happens when you just have a two-party system. There is no way you're going to be able to serve the collective interest of everybody in a two-party system. There's just no way. But that's a whole other, girl, that's a whole other thing. Unfortunately, I think we need to really sit with the fact. A lot of fans and parasocial relationships need to sit with the fact that these artists and these public figures that signed up for this job don't owe you shit, but politicians do. They actually do. Like if we're talking about their actual jobs, like an artist and creative, it's what you would like for them to do. You would like for them to stand up for their beliefs. You would like for them to have a backbone and morals and ethics. All of this I would like, but I am not demanding or expecting it because that's not the job. But if I look at a politician, your job is to serve what my interests. And if I'm going to be honest, someone like a Kamala Harris is not going to be able to serve all of my interests because we don't align fully. And that is okay. I can still vote for her, which I plan on doing because some of y'all are probably watching this like, y'all probably didn't even get to this point. But anyway, I will still vote for her because I know the other option is a fuck no, but I don't have to like it and I don't have to be happy about it. I operate under the guise that politicians are there to serve you, and the person that I want in a public office is going to be the least adversary to my beliefs and my wishes and desires. If someone like Trump is in office, it's so antithetical to the things that I want, it's going to be impossible for me to even try and think of politics and issues that I care about being considered by someone like him and his camp. But with Kamala, there is slightly more of a chance that this person would be a little less in my way. And also, I think we need to remember, some of y'all only ever come out when it's a big election like this, right? She had said this is her third election voting. This is my second, or I guess third technically, but like there was a local race in Georgia. Anyway, if you don't vote in local elections and don't care about that stuff, then why are you all of a sudden so upset now? You need to understand that elections aren't just every 4 years when we want to get a president. There are plenty of local politics happening in your area that actually are going to affect you a lot more, and it trickles up. And so if you don't care about those things, but you want to get mad at Chappell Roan for saying that there are issues, critiquing the left as she's allowed to do, as she probably should, based off the politics that she's already plainly stated, girl, I don't know what to tell you. Because I think we're at a place where this election is so close that every little bit counts, and celebrities and public figures have become this, I don't know if flashpoint's the right word, but have become this point where everyone is waiting for them to see what they do and say. American culture is giving celebrities just as much power as politicians, and that should not be the case ever. It shouldn't be. We're finding out about a lot of these celebrities and public figures and their morals and values. Girl, we should have never put them on such a pedestal as the same place and elevated them to the same status and expectation, therefore, that we would a politician. I think we need to get back to the place where we enjoy, artists and creatives' work and things. Maybe we don't agree with all the things that they do, sure. But then with politicians, those are the ones that we hold accountable the most. It's not to say we can't hold artists and public figures accountable, but I'm just saying, the people that can actually affect policy and change in law are the ones that you're voting for. You didn't vote for Chappell Roan or anything like that. You just supported her music. And if you don't want to after the things that she said, you're allowed to do that. But trying to use your support and engagement as a vote almost to say, if you don't do this, then I'm not going to support you, is kind of weird, especially if you're doing that and then getting upset with people that have reasons for not wanting to vote for Kamala and have expressed those reasons clearly and are allowed to do that and are actually being strategic with their vote, are actually using democracy and politics the way it was meant. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, register to vote, and you can vote for the lesser of two evils and not be happy about it and still criticize, and vote locally. And if you don't want to vote because of the stances that you have, I won't agree with you, but I will respect your decision, right? That's just the black ass bottom line. I won't agree with it, but I'll respect it. But if you're just saying I'm apolitical and it's all stupid, girl, think what you're thinking, brain. Anyway, I didn't even do an intro. I was in Richmond. Shout out to everybody that came to my show in Richmond. Thank y'all so much for the support. And yeah, hopefully I get to do more of these. And sorry I've been so all over the place with YouTube. It's just, it's been a busy summer, and trying to produce this pole opera show has been a lot. But yeah, if you want to donate to our Kickstarter, go ahead. I'll put it in the link below. We're trying to do more productions. Everyone that's seen it has been like, whoa, what is this? So yeah, that was just a random little self-promotion, because my platform and I do what I want with it. Anyway, as always, be sure to feed your plets, water your plets, and remember, you can always change your mind, because you can. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.